Hello everybody, Josh here. One of the few times you actually get to see me in front of the camera, and it's a pretty scary sight, I know. But hopefully we can go with this. Here, I'll take the camera from my daughter. You don't have to look at my scary face anymore. Alright, so we're going to do a video series on raising your own chickens. And this is episode number 1. We're going to talk about cages or brooder boxes, basically. Things that you can put your babies in once you get them home. So right now we're looking at a brooder box with a rooster that is in timeout for being overly aggressive, knocking him off of his leader of the food chain out there, I guess. But aside from him, we won't look at him. Just ignore him. He's in trouble. So we got this rabbit cage here, and I've used this very successfully as a brooder box. It's not normally what you see for a brooder box. I used this for September, and really around here and during the September and stuff like that, it's still pretty warm. As you get into the later months, I wrapped it with cardboard, and that helps insulate the heat. Plus, it was inside of a shed, which I use as my chicken coop. So that added extra warmth and protection. You can very easily, right now I'm in the garage, very easily, keep one of these in the garage, as long as, the garage is closed up, and you got, like I said, the cardboard around it. Maybe you don't have something like this, and I know these things can be kind of costly. I got this for free from somebody. So another good option for your brooder box is going to be something like that. $5 at your local Walmart or someplace like that. And of course, you want something bigger than the 18-gallon ones for more chickens that you have. They will grow and grow out of space. You want to give them plenty of room to grow, so that's definitely something to think about. Boxes that you can move them to as they get bigger. We also have you can also use a cardboard box. This is something a lot of people would use because it's easy. You can even take old cardboard boxes and kind of tape them together to form something. This obviously has something in it. It's never been used for a brooder box, but same thing. But you get the idea. You can use anything from like a rabbit coop, Rubbermaid type plastic tote, cardboard box, or you can actually build something out of wood. And I have one out in the back of the property, and I don't really feel like walking out there. Let's look at the inside of this. Since I have a chicken in here, I got something in it, which is sawdust. You can also use wood chips, or shredded paper is another one that a lot of people have used that I've read about. And that's a high carbon element. Chicken manure has a lot of nitrogen in it, so you want something that's going to really be able to absorb a lot of that nitrogen, and it's going to help keep the smell down. It's going to help keep their feet clean. I really like using sawdust or wood chips, pine shavings, stuff like that, because it really soaks up a lot. And if it starts to stink, you just add a little bit more to it, stir it around a little bit, and it's usually pretty good. Another thing that you'll want is a water bowl and a food bowl. And here's a basic water bowl that you can get when you get your chickens. If you go to like some kind of a country type store, gone to Outwoods or Outwoods, Horselands, and Tractor Supply are the ones that are in my local area. They have these type of things. Some of them have a plastic container that you put your water in. They also have these type of things, pretty much like this for the food, and they have a plastic jar that goes onto it, or you can use a mason jar. And that's sufficient to feed your babies for a while. Eventually they'll poop in this a lot, so you want to kind of put this where it's up off the ground, maybe put a brick or a rock or something that this can set in. These, I find that they get messy with it and the food ends up all over the floor. So I've played around with various different things. Here's like a food bowl or something that came with the rabbit cage when I got it from a friend. And I just flipped it over. I figured once they were a couple weeks old, that ring, I just put the food around there and they could, reach in and eat. But yet they couldn't really get in there and throw the food all over the place. And the last main thing that you're really going to need is this thing right here. It's going to be a light, a brooder light. You don't actually have to just use one of these type of things. I've seen people use like shop lights and things like that, but you need something that's going to be able to help keep them warm. They need to be, pretty warm for those first few weeks. I've used this thing and, I've basically just set it on top of the cage like that. When you put your food and water in there, for example, I would put it, away from the heat. That way they can come in here and they can rest underneath the light, but yet they don't have to, if it's too hot, they can go away from it. And their food and water isn't going to be right underneath that really bad heat source. So those are just a few ideas on keeping your baby chicks. You want to, of course, provide them with some basic protection from the elements, food, and water. And that's really all you have to do. Until next time, this is Josh.